Okay, whenever you're ready, we are rolling.
Well,
Well, welcome to. My name is Christoph Key,
I'm Joshen.
and this is our podcast on spirituality, not so gurus.
Yes.
Do that again.
My name is Christoph Key,
And I'm Joshen.
and this is our show on spirituality, not so gurus.
Okay.
You want me to, do you want me to ask you questions, or do you want to just go right into it? I'm gonna cut myself out of this. So
I guess let's just start with some questions just to get the mind wandering. I think we're gonna just ramble off.
yeah, after. So I'm just gonna ask you, what is this show?
I mean, what isn't the show? No, honestly, we are just two people on our spiritual paths, and we're just trying to figure out life just like the rest of us. We're trying to, we'll sit here and discuss our ups and downs and our practices we haven't practiced, and all the things we love to do, and just kind of just talk about spirituality and that umbrella term and what that is and what it means for us and to us.
When I got asked to be a part of the project, the first thing that popped into my mind was my friend Joe, because we don't just talk about superficial things.
Yeah.
We get pretty deep sometimes. I have recently started a journey in my life where I am almost 2 years sober, and I have started to see things in a lot different light. And who do I talk to? I talk to Joe about it. So I just thought it would be a great idea for us to share with you some of the ideas that we pop around with.
Yeah, I agree. We kind of realized, I feel like a lot of friendships, when they first start, you're trying to like figure each other out and stuff. But so I think it took a while for both of us, me being a Scorpio, you being Capricorn, maybe took a little bit of a while to like for us to like open up. But once we did, we couldn't shut up. So here we are.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So I'm really into crystals and birth charts and some tarot, and Joe's into a lot of other things such as.
Yeah, I am. And wait, can we cuss on here?
Yeah,
Okay,
100%.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Can I bust my titties out?
I wasn't sure. I was like, wait, because I was saying I have like two words that just flow. No, but I am an astrology whore. I really, really love. I actually follow West African tradition called Ifa. I love all things weird. I will try everything, maybe half a time, not all the way, like a cult, no, but like I might walk in. So I don't know.
You said the C word. If you can't tell, we love cults.
We
I don't know
do.
what it is about cults, but we love cults.
Saint Germain.
A lot of things that a lot of businesses in the city and stuff offer a lot of services that we're not really familiar with that I think will be fun to explore. There's a lot of bookstores in Denver. Palm readers I know is something that Joe's interested in, and I've never even tapped into it, so I'm quite curious myself.
Yeah.
And even some history of things. Like, I don't even know what the history of tarot is. Like, I just accepted that. So I want to dive into some of those questions. And as the title says, we're not gurus. So we're not going to sit here and pretend like we know everything. We want to be relatable to just the normal person.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off of Christoph, I mean, to be honest, it is one of the weirdest, most enlightening, most confusing, amazing journeys to find your like higher self. And I mean, there's so many different stepping stones and there's so many different directions, and there's no one right way, there's no wrong way. It's just making sure that you're growing. And I would just like to say, because some people are into some different things, I don't like to judge. If you like the darker stuff, cool. Not me, but
Not
cool.
me, not me.
But cool.
I'll deal with it. But
hey, if it gets you to your highest self, more power to you.
so let me ask you this. What does spirituality mean to you? Like, what is spirituality to you?
Ooh, spirituality. I mean, I guess if we're talking about soul, like your soul is your essence. Your spirit is your essence. I think it's just nurturing that part of your being, because I mean we're just in meat shells,
A
we
meat shell. No, she didn't.
we're just in little meat shells. So I mean it's just, I guess, nurturing your energy, nurturing that thing that's like intangible, that thing that makes you you, you know?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I agree with you. Spirituality for me is the practice around taking care of that part of your soul, of that your being. And what's one of the beautiful things about it, in my opinion, is that there are so many different ways to connect to that one same space. And so that's, in a nutshell, what I think I want most people to get from our show is different avenues you can take to protect your spirituality, nurture your spirituality, and grow your spirituality.
Yeah, 100%. I know you're into crystals,
Girl.
and I'm learning. I'm still learning. I'm trying to dive into that world a little bit. I have like literally like a little like what is that tweed bag of like crystals, and I set them out here and there. But girl, they decharge right now. I don't think they've seen the moon in like many moons.
Well, I'm by no means a crystal guru. We'll get her in here one of these days, but I do know a little bit about it, and I'm excited to share that with you guys.
Yeah. So
moving on to some questions. You got some light us back up, Kaylee. Light us back up, girl.
Okay, all right. So we just have a full moon? We just had a new moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And an eclipse.
Ooh,
y'all know anything about eclipses?
They're know pretty. What? I know they happen. I know it's cool.
I remember being a kid in like elementary school, and you would get like the little things and put the paper plate or whatever and look up in the sky and try to see something through a pinhole. I mean, that's about it too. I mean, I love other planets. So Joe and I were actually just talking about telescopes and how cool that would be, because we're all about the planets and the stars, but we never thought about like telescopes and how cool it would be to look at the moon on those full moons and those new moons and just check that shit out. Like,
also, I'm just like really obsessed with seeing like if I can see like something moving on the moon. I want to see that so bad.
I'm waiting for the day I see a UFO. Like,
I know.
Every chance I get. That thunderstorm the other day, I swear they traveled in the clouds. I was looking out my window for UFOs.
It was like on War of the Worlds. We're getting a little off track, but I'm actually
War
about
of
to
the
go
Worlds.
to aliens.
Oh no.
Never mind. I reel it in. No, but agreed. And also, I actually want to learn more about the moon. I am a Cancer rising, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. So there's a bunch of stuff, and I'm so into just water overall. So I would definitely love to discover the moon and its many powers.
I like that. It's many powers.
Yes.
So while you brought up your signs, so what are your 3 signs, and I'll share my 3 signs.
Yeah, my big 3, I am a Scorpio sun, I am a Scorpio moon, and I am a Cancer rising.
I just got mine, and I am a Capricorn, and I'm very headstrong, very much Capricorn, but I am surprisingly an Aries moon and an Aries rising.
Not so surprising.
Well, surprising to me. So I'm definitely excited to find out more about that. You did give me that website, and it's packed full of information.
Yeah.
A little overwhelming at once, but what's so, I don't know, I find interesting about the birth chart is for a while there, I considered if I was bipolar or if I had ADD. But I realized by reading my birth chart that that's just how my brain thinks.
Literally.
And works. And it has nothing to do medically. It's just, it makes sense by reading my chart. And that's one of like the many beautiful things I think about astrology. I mean, there's many skeptics out there.
Yeah.
But I say, like, if it works for you, it works for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with that too. I often find myself referring back to my full chart, and you end up, because again, it is really overwhelming, like to sit down and read it all at once, especially if it's in depth. But I find myself really actually finding peace with certain parts of my personality because it was just in the stars. Like literally, that is what I have been brought here to be. And that's okay. Like there's some things I can be a little bit of for being fully transparent, I can be a little bit of a control freak sometimes. And I'd be like, dang, is there something wrong with me? And they'd be like, no, just Scorpio Mercury. It's like, okay, cool. Thank you.
A lot of people like to control situations.
Yeah.
Myself as an alcoholic, I really have a hard time with flexibility. As you know, we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
But, being aware of those issues helps you work on them in an organic and natural way, I believe.
Yeah. 100%. I kind of grew up around astrology. My mom was super into astrology, so I was always fully aware of certain aspects, but now that I'm an adult and I've actually sat down and gone through like degrees and things like that, which is like a whole segment in and of itself, you know what I mean? But it's just super cool. It just makes me like kind of like feel, and my mom always told me like math is the language of the universe, and I just feel like,
ooh, well, I'm bad at math, so I might be fat.
No, what's 2 + 2?
6.
Yeah.
In school, they said you wouldn't have a calculator in your pocket at all times, but we do.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so I guess I just wanted to ask you too, because you and I, of course, we talk, but like, what's your daily or like routine like, or like?
You must have just read my mind, because I was just about to ask you, what was your routine? You know, I love my routine.
Yeah.
And it's I'm learning to be more flexible with it, but my daily routine consists of not picking up my cell phone as soon as I wake up in the morning. I purposely have meditation music on. Either I'll listen to a book on, I almost said book on tape, aged myself. I'll listen to an audiobook, right? Audiobook. I love Tabitha Brown, as you know.
Yeah.
Just those things that I need to hear while we're still half asleep. And I get on my knees right away and I pray. I give my day to my higher power. After that, I go on an hour Zoom meeting with AA. And for me, that puts on my shield and my armor for the day. And then I fuel up with a healthy breakfast and hit the gym. And then I call you.
Yep, that's pretty much how it goes. And that's all before 6 a.m.
It is. I don't play. I do not play. And that's the Capricorn, you know?
Yeah. I can't relate.
What's your routine? What's your routine?
My routine is not a routine. I am definitely more loose when it comes to my ways. I really should be doing things more, what is the word? More like schedule oriented. What word am I looking for? Organized.
Efficiently?
Yeah. Well, no, but I really should be way more organized and just kind of have like an actual spiritual routine. For me, throughout the day, I may just be talking to myself saying, I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for that. I have my little mini affirmations that, you know, I'm trying to get out of this habit of like affirming myself or being grateful for things when I'm only down. Like I'm trying to do it like when I'm happy too. It's like that whole thing is like, don't just go to church when you're sad. Like I'm not, I don't mean to, but life gets so hectic and busy. But sometimes I do feel a little guilty that I don't, you know, just, I'm not more, again, organized with it and just more on a routine. I
think living in that, as you know, in my home, I have a letterboard that says, live in gratitude. And I hear that a lot in AA. I hear it from Tabitha Brown. I hear it in a lot of different places. And I see it like this. If you always live in gratitude, then you're always thankful for the blessings that you have.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get in the habit of thinking that your blessings are owed to you, you know, and that's one thing that I've learned. But you're right. I mean, it's easy to smile when it's rainbows outside.
Exactly, right? And so, like, that's also one thing I've struggled with in my family. Like, we call it a little sagginess. Not necessarily, like, depression or anything.
Girl, not just saggy.
I know. Exposed again. No, I just, you know, I get struck by a little bit of downness. And it's just, it comes from a place of not living in gratitude, I think, for me. And that's where... I think I've struggled because, like, why am I not grateful? Like, I mean, yes, I am ambitious, but there's like a fine line of being like ambitious, but also like being content, you know? So it's just finding that happy medium. That's been a thing for me. Yeah.
Being content.
Content.
That's a hard one, you know? I am not really used to being alone. Well, I wasn't, but this is the first time in my life that I'm actually content with my life as it is. You know, I've got a lot of change coming up, but I think that's helping me along this journey is just being content with how life is and everything will work out.
And then honestly, I think it's even more than everything will work out. Like there's usually like blessings that come from that, you know, like even
you got to get out the way.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you're just like living from this place of like, all right, everything's cool. I'm good. Like, everything's all right. Like, you know, you open up your mind. I think it's like a positive mindset type situation. Like you open up your mind and you open up your world and your essence to like receiving much more glorious things. So
All the glorious
all
things.
the glory. So yeah.
All right, so I think this is good. I like where you're going. One thing that I want to do is, because I can break this up where it can end up being kind of, I guess, released in two different weeks. But leading up, do you have moon rituals, like full moon rituals at all that you guys
I
do?
have a new moon ritual.
You have a new moon ritual, but not a full moon ritual?
I don't have either.
Not either. Okay. What are some rituals that you guys do have? Do you have rituals at all that you? I know the morning routine almost is kind of like ritualistic in a way, which I can actually extract that as being its own little segment, like our morning routines kind of thing.
Oh, you okay?
We cleanse our homes.
You want to talk about that for a minute?
Sure.
Like what that actually means, because people are just, we want them to get to know you. So this is just all like, this is where we are right now,
For sure.
and the show is about where you're going.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So talk a little bit about, how you cleanse your home.
All right. Well, I definitely have.
I'll start with the sentence. Like one of you asked the question, how do we cleanse our home? Or just say, I cleanse my home by.
Yeah. So, how do you cleanse your home? How do you go about doing these things?
Well, like cleansing my home is definitely a ritual. I used to smudge my house like every single day. And I know that people frown down on that because it clears all of the energy out. But I think that a lot of my energy dwells in my mind. So if I'm always in my home, then it gets cloudy. So I used to like to cleanse it every day. Now I do it about once every 3 days, but it's very, very ritualistic. I start in my kitchen and I cleanse where I make my food and I cleanse all my plants. I cleanse my television. I cleanse my wallet for finances. I also cleanse my cell phone for communication. My pillows for where I rejuvenate my cells. There is a romantic picture in my house that I cleanse for my romantic life. And I love my vision board, and I specifically cleanse every single thing in that and manifest all those things. And then I get a little weird with it, girl. Like, I'll cleanse my head, and I'll cleanse my body, and I'll cleanse, my downstairs for my sexual health and my sexual desires. Because, our higher power just doesn't close his eyes to that. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So I cleanse my body and I cleanse my feet. And I ask for the path that I take that day to be cleansed of all negativity.
No, 100%. I can totally relate to that, actually.
And then I end up choking to death.
Open a window.
What do you do, girl? What you do?
No, same thing. Not as frequently, though. I think I probably cleanse my home maybe bi-weekly. And similar process, I usually start at my front door, I cleanse that energy. I don't just let anybody in my house. So, but when I do have like some people who may have not been,
we can't help that, right?
Yeah, you can't, sometimes you can't help the energy that people bring, but you got to get it out of there, right? So I cleanse my home of that. I go through the same thing, cleanse my pillows, cleanse my closet, cleanse my clothes, cleanse my body, your private parts. You gotta cleanse those in every way.
I actually saw a meme with that the other day.
I know, right? And for me, actually, because sage in particular, I really, really try to get it grown from directly from the natives and from the reservations, because it truly is a sacred herb to the indigenous tribes of the North, Central, and even Southern Americas. So I really try to get it as naturally grown and processed.
That sounds like a whole topic, girl. Like
Yeah.
different types of sages.
Yes.
And where they come from.
And it's
I
all
don't know much
gentrified
about-
these days.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I do know that there are some places I see some sage and I'm like, hell no, I would not buy my sage
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
But that's some things that I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I love seeing the huge sage sticks with a huge crystal or rock on top of it. I want one of those.
I know, those are so pretty. I personally don't, again, I'm just kind of dipping into the crystal world. So
Well,
I
let me
would
tell you
definitely-
what. You know, in my house, there's all these little spots that are burned places, and it's from. It's not from cigarettes. It's from saging. I swear to God.
I know it just like falls off. You got to get you one of those little shells.
I do. I got 3 of them.
You
I didn't know you had to
silly
carry it around everywhere you walk. It's
Yeah.
a process. How am I gonna the feather in my teeth?
Yeah. Girl, you supposed to put it in the shell and then fan it with the.
We'll have a whole lesson on that.
Yes.
Because I am confused.
But no, a part of also saging my house, just to close that part up. Part of saging my house, I do something really fun or just what brings me joy to bring that positivity back into my house after saging it. And sometimes that involves like Palo Santo, like
Oh, it smells so good.
oh man, I love it. Sometimes I actually drip some essential oils like on it. It's just to make it it kind of intensifies the smoke because Palo doesn't really burn like crazy.
I always wanted to like get rolling like sage.
Yeah, I think that would actually create.
Let's get like 5 sticks and put them together and see what
I know.
happens.
Oh, girl, it's gonna look like it's gonna look like California. But yeah, no. Then I just do something like really fun, really something that just brings me joy. Like on the day, it might just be dancing stupidly
To
with
fill
music
that
on.
space, that
yeah,
spot. I
it
like
might be
that.
talking to my cats. Who
Oh,
knows?
ooh, tofu.
Tofu. Yeah, so that is definitely one of the rituals that I have. And also, I have in my culture, I have a prayer day every 4 days. So that is ritualistic for me. I should definitely be way, way, way more disciplined with it, but it is still something that is very prevalent in my life. So, yeah.
I love that feeling your space with positivity afterwards. I think that I typically meditate afterwards, which helps and listen to positive affirmations. Definitely don't turn on that news, girl.
Oh, no.
No.
And yeah, sometimes meditation for me, you know what's so funny? I love meditation. I really, truly do. But sometimes it's like you have to be totally prepared. And I know we're straying a little bit, but like you have to be totally prepared for what's going to come up.
Do you ever dread meditating?
Yeah.
And then once you do it, be like, why the hell was I dreading this shit? Like, I don't know why it
Yeah.
always seems like a scary thing to do. Although I do it all the time. It's like, I don't want to do it. And then I'm happy that I did it.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I really do. Meditation brings up a lot of stuff, be it good or bad. It just depends on where your soul wants to take you that day, where the universe wants to take
What's
you
just
to.
gonna knock loose?
Yeah, but also, again, it is, at the end of the day, it's like, I'm so glad I did that. I'm glad that I took the time to actually, like, quiet myself for however many minutes.
I was watching a documentary called Heal, and they were talking about different types of meditation that really intrigued me. I think two that I can remember was the Who Am I meditation, where you think about who you are, and the What Are My Beliefs meditation, where you think about what your beliefs are. And I haven't tried either of them yet, but I feel like I might be sitting down there meditating for a while.
Yeah, I haven't technically like sat down and meditated on it, but whoa, do I take myself down some crazy rabbit holes with those 2 questions on a daily basis? And what I've come up with is pretty alright, but I'm out of there sometimes, and I'll be like, and I guess it is in a sense of meditation, even though I don't necessarily like plan on it to be, but I will like literally look up and an hour go by and I was just like in such deep thought. So yeah, I guess it was meditation.
All different forms. I mean, I walk to
Yeah.
work along the Platte River Trail, and that is such a form of meditation for me. Just like seeing nature, even though it's in the middle of the city, there's like hawks and geese and people taking care of themselves, and I can just listen to my chill music
Yeah.
and put on that armor, you know?
Question: do you listen to anything when you meditate, or are you a total silence meditator? It depends.
You know what? I go back and forth because I'm an old lady and I get really pissed off at loud noises. So like I live downtown and I wake up early and like the dumpsters and all that shit just like ticks me off. Like I think that the janitor at my building like
Yeah.
hates me because he vacuums right in front when I'm meditating. Yeah, it's all in my psycho head. So the answer to your question is yes. Nowadays I do put something soft on the background. Usually not anything with words
Yeah.
while I'm meditating, but I will put I am affirmations on after meditation while I'm like, cleaning up. Do
Yeah.
you listen to anything?
For me, I am more of a silence meditator.
Ooh, girl.
Um, because I feel like my brain goes crazy and goes in so many different directions, and I will personally be receiving the full benefit of like actually organizing those thoughts if I'm in silence. Because I also might possibly maybe self-diagnosing here, but have ADHD, and so like if I hear like a tune that I like, I will deeply get into that, even if it's just a vibration. If we're just on like the hertz sound, I will just sit there like the whole time and not even think. So I don't know. For me, I just get very, very sporadic when
I
there's
do like
sound.
the hertz. I actually
Yeah.
go to sleep with those.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple channels on YouTube that I like. And,
Yeah.
it's so funny because someone that we don't speak to anymore, it would drive them crazy. You know what I mean? Like this doesn't put you to sleep. Okay, well it doesn't work for you, but it works
Okay,
for
demon,
me.
get out of here.
All I'm trying to say is not everything works for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, okay, look, be gone.
Speaking of that, let's just work with it. Releasing
Oh,
people from your life, you know,
And
that you
things
don't,
and-
that you're
yeah.
not, if, that you're not expecting. We
Yeah.
both just did something.
and that are no
along
longer
those.
serving you, and actually maybe hindering your development.
Yeah. I'd say one major lesson I've learned from it is that I can't be friends or date anyone that's not spiritually enlightened.
And have sex.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know that sounds maybe like stuck up or whatever, but our brains
Yeah.
think on a different level in a different way.
Yeah.
We take care of our bodies. We take care of our minds. We try our best to be the best people that we can
Mm-hmm.
be. And I believe that any type of person, even if they're just a friend,
Yeah.
they've got to be on that same wavelength too.
Oh, 100%.
I've found it exhausting if they're not.
Yeah.
Very confrontational at times.
Yeah.
Or just straight up generic, plastic, not
Yeah.
real. And all those things, girl, I do not have time for anymore.
No, 100%. And I mean, like, actually, I would like to argue that friendships are probably the most important places to have those people, and to expect certain people to have certain beliefs, not even beliefs, but certain, hold themselves accountable in a certain way. And, you know, it's very, very necessary to have these people in your life who are growing. And, you know, you and I talk about it often, like, especially me, I'm not perfect by any means with like diet and stuff, and even like routine or anything. But one thing I am is very conscious of what I am doing, and I'm like learning how to have balance and stuff. However, there's some people who are totally extreme and don't care, like who have this like YOLO mindset, and it's not cool. Like, you don't age well, you don't look good, and it's just like you don't feel good, you don't treat people well, people don't receive you well.
Yeah, it shows in all kind of ways.
Exactly, in every aspect of your life, and it definitely my brain wandered. So anyway,
You know,
See?
I'd say a lot like holding people to a certain standard. In my drinking days, I did not, everything was very superficial, you know. And now that I have these new set of eyeballs, you see things that you didn't really expect to see. And that does exist in people sometimes, unfortunately. But, you know, either you're going to weigh yourself down or you're going to press on with it. And
yeah,
my circle's quite small, but it's strong.
yeah, solid.
Well, that makes me want to ask you a question, just as far as energy is concerned. Like, do you kind of develop or go down paths with people based on the energy that you receive between each other? Like, has there been instances where you meet someone and the energy is like no, or meet someone when the energy is like yes? Like, what does that feel like?
Well, but I
that
think
too
we definitely
abstract?
know when the
Yeah.
energy is a no, right?
Yeah, I you know what? Actually, me personally, I struggle with that sometimes. I think I like to give people a little bit extra. I'm
Okay.
all empathetic and stuff, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's a bad day. No, you just suck, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I feel that. I feel that for sure.
yeah, but overall, I think you and I pretty much, we'll look at each other and be like, oh, that person's cool. You know, sometimes it depends on like personality traits that we may or may not like,
Yes.
but overall, we usually are on the same page.
One thing that I've learned about myself recently is that I used to assume that everybody thinks the way that I do, or everyone has the same values that I do. And that would lead me to a lot of frustration
Oof,
because that is not the way the world works.
it sure ain't.
I guess I like to think I do things the right way, which is not always true.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So I personally have been working on that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, unacceptable behavior is unacceptable behavior.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, like creating boundaries. Boundaries is a very important thing. And I think it's one of those things that you think you have a grasp on until you see something, you're like, hold up, like not cool. You know, it's some days where I think like I'm tripping for like being upset over something or disliking something that somebody did or said, or even just a vibe, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's just creating boundaries and like learning that you have to have a certain sense of self. And also it's very scary. That's one thing people don't talk about. Like, you might get ridiculed. People might look at you like you're an ass. People might like hate on you or something.
And people are going to test those boundaries
Yeah.
too. Like, I was dating this guy and set up this boundary, as you know, and then he wanted all the perks and none of the other. I just don't understand. Like, when you are very upfront with someone about what your boundaries are,
Yeah.
it'll be cool for a minute.
Yeah.
But then they got to test it.
Yeah.
That's not something that I do. Like, if you say this is your boundary, like, what kind of person would I be to test that boundary? Whether it be a relationship or just going out or whatever, you know?
Yeah, I feel like with me a lot in my life, when I finally do build up the courage to set up a boundary, whether it be from a place of frustration or just like I don't care that day, I do experience a lot of people just totally disregarding that and totally, because I guess like they see me as being empathetic and kind and nice, and I'm like, hold up, wait a minute, that like, you know what I mean, like, hold up, like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
deserve better, you know, and I deserve what I want and what I need and what I don't want and what I don't need, you know what I mean? So it's like I do find myself a lot of the times being taken advantage of.
Objectified?
Oof,
Yes.
girl,
I
like,
mean, you know, being people of color,
Yeah.
you know, I think I'm attractive, successful man, you know, and then I remember asking you the other day, I was like, girl, do you think sometimes people objectify me?
I said,
And
duh.
you laughed at me. Like,
duh. What you mean? I was like confused. Like, I was like, what are you? Duh.
well, I just didn't see it like that
Yeah.
until I noticed my boundaries being pushed.
Yeah.
Until I noticed my boundaries being tested, because then they're not viewing me as a person.
Yeah.
They're viewing me as a situation or a challenge or as an object.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I guess I used to do that to people, but again, I see the world through different eyes now.
Yeah,
and
100%.
I want to be the person that I want, and I know I'm going to attract that person.
Yeah, dang, I keep blanking. I don't know what's wrong with me because I literally had a good segue into something and it's gone. So I'm just praying it'll come back, but we'll see. But yeah, no, I feel you on that. I think that's just like life, and especially, you know, oh, that's what I was gonna say. Got it. Boom. So
I'm gonna
again,
get you a little.
I'm out. I lost it again. I guess I had two simultaneous thoughts, but yeah, I totally feel you on that, and I wish that people who are spiritual sometimes, this is it. I hate when people who like believe in spirituality and who believe in energy and things like that, when you have like an issue, or even if you see something but it's like totally energy based, they act like so oblivious to it all of a sudden, like they don't know spirituality or they don't know, like if I'm like, oh, the vibe is just off right now, and everybody's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, come on now, like let's just like close our eyes for a second and dig a little deep. You know what I'm seeing, you know what I mean? But it's one of those.
It's the world we live in, I think.
Yeah.
You know, one would rather be inclusive and just blend into the crowd.
Yeah.
rather than just say how they feel.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think spirituality is definitely a wave right now. I think it always actually has been though. Because I actually like I look at like my mom and stuff too, and she has the same complaints I do. She was like, "Oh, it was cool to be spiritual and like like be an Erykah Badu esque type person, you know, that vibe and stuff." So I think spirituality has always been one of those things that's kind of just been like cool or unique. But now, geez, like with positivity and positive vibes, those be the most toxic people. You know what I mean? So I think you really have to
Tell the truth and shame the
discernment.
devil.
Yeah, right. I think a lot of being on your spiritual journey and your spiritual path is learning how to discern, like being totally discerning. And amongst the people like you're around, the energies you're around, the industry that you want to go into or that you're a part of, your family members, like nobody is too good for discernment. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that you definitely, and it's a scary thing. Again, it makes you look like an ass sometimes because you might be like straight up like, hey, I don't want to be here. You know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing. It's just like, I just don't want to.
Well,
But
half the
discernment.
time, these people out here that are selling us, let's say,
Yeah.
this like yogi lifestyle or this spiritual lifestyle, they
Hypocrites.
don't even know what they're talking about. So it's super important for every individual to develop what is important to them. You know, and I've learned a lot just by being on the opposite side of things, let's say in LA, where I'm like having conversations with people, and the person in front of the camera doing all the yoga literally has no idea what he's doing, like, you know, but has the beautiful setup and therefore has millions of followers and the
Aesthetic.
monetizing all these money. You can't, I think it's very ignorant to grab one person or one guru, let's say, and just take everything culty.
Yeah,
Take
cult.
everything they say to be true.
Yeah.
Because there are some backstabbing hoes out here.
Yeah.
Like going under the mask of spirituality, 100%.
1,000,000%. I actually try to stay away from people, and it's ironic that we're doing the show, but I try to stay away from people who have that like in their bio and just like plaster spirituality and positive energy on their life. Because my God, like they have been some of the most backwards, inside out, not knowing their ass from a hole in the ground type people. And I hate to say it that harshly, but it's just so jarring to see an image and to get to know that person for who they really are. It's so jarring, and it's almost a little disrespectful. It's like, sir, like actually, like don't just like say the words, be the words. You know what I mean? Like, just try at least. Like, you don't have to be perfect, but just do
please.
a little
It look
better,
good on
please.
Instagram, girl. It look good on Instagram.
I mean, right? But even people who don't even have any clout, they just want to be that, but they can't do the self-work. And, like, they can't push them. And that's when, like, therapy, hello, like, you know, like.
That leads into some self work for sure.
Yeah.
I have a question about that though.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So there's a term, fake it till you make it.
Ooh, I have feelings about this.
I do,
Let's
too.
talk a little bit about it, if you don't
You
mind.
want to start? You had a big reaction. I know where I stand on. Well, I kind of do, but
Well,
we're going
we
to talk it out.
about people who are, because I agree.
Yeah.
A lot of people who have those positive affirmations and all that stuff, so many of them are toxic people.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, the bigger gurus say you have to speak it into
existence.
Is that also a form of fake it till you make it? Let's talk a little bit about
Ooh,
that.
I'm excited.
I think that they're a bit different. You know, I used to like the fake it until you make it. And then I heard this song, and he said, if I fake it till I make it, then all I am is a fraud. And that stuck with me so hard. And I don't know why. And like a lot of people in my AA group, they say fake it till you make it, you know, in terms of not drinking. And that makes sense to me. Act like you live the life that you want to live. But for me, I'm such an authentic person who wears my heart on my sleeve. And I'm an actor. So it's like fake it till you make it. So let me just be this whole different person and lie to your face until I'm actually that person. That's where it rubs me the wrong way. But I think I'd be digging into shit real hard and real deep.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about it. So I like it in certain situations, but I prefer not to use the term "fake it till you make it." What you feel like?
This is about to get a little juicy because I'm actually on the opposite end of the spectrum, to be honest. I do understand where you're coming from 100%.
A lot of people.
I love fake it till you make it because honestly, I believe that fake it till you, to a certain degree. Hold up. like, hold up. Because I'm sounding like super passionate. Like, I'm not that far on that end of the spectrum, like in terms of like what I feel about that. But I do agree with it to the extent of, we all are fully capable of a million billion amazing things, right? So like we have all of this pent up talent, energy, goodness, kindness, love, and fake it until you get to that point. However, there is a certain point where you just aren't getting there, and that's where you have to be honest with yourself. I think it's like this is a little off subject, but it's like when I think of the first thing that comes to my mind, fake it till you make it, is like chains and music videos. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of that stuff looks fake, but if it's getting you popping and then you get that money and then you have manifested a real couple of change, then good job. You know what I mean? However, if your music isn't hitting and you might need to take another route. And it's just, I think it's about at a certain point, like you need to reevaluate and reassess. You know what I mean?
That fine line that not many people,
line.
Not many people know that fine line.
There's a lot of self-honesty and a lot of self-truth. A lot of being, my mom always said, you can lie to me, but don't lie to yourself. Like literally, you always have to be honest with yourself. But yeah, I'm a firm believer, like, shoot, I'm happy today. If I'm not happy, I'm a figure it out.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I say, I walk around with a type of confidence that's not faking it, but I do see myself, I think very highly of myself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I've learned in my life that by me being authentic and speaking my truth is when blessings come into my life. Mm-hmm. I am always talking about my number one dream of being a backup singer for Mariah Carey. Mm-hmm. People either do one of two things. Either they laugh at me and I laugh right back at them, or they say, you're going to fucking do amazing. I know you are. Yeah. And I know I will. My family knows I will. Mariah, she will know I will. But you're right. You have to speak it into existence. Yeah. That's my vision board every single day. Yeah. I have been envisioning this life change that I'm about to make for the past year. Yeah. Every single day. So I totally agree with that.
And I feel like there is, like you said earlier, something that they might be slightly two different things, faking it till you make it and manifesting. You know what I mean? Destiny and like what you want to do is what you want to do, and that's what you want to achieve. Faking it till you make it. If we're talking about like spiritual gurus and stuff, like damn well you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? And that's just con artists. You know what I mean?
It's scary too. I heard, when you said it too, like you don't know. Like, I don't know much about witchcraft or anything like that, but there are these people on TikTok who are giving advice about things that could potentially be harmful.
Let me tell y'all, since we talked about the moon earlier.
Shit got real.
No, because I cannot believe these. It was like 2 years ago, I think now. I don't know where time is going, whatever. But it's like a while ago. These little baby witches on TikTok tried to put a curse on the moon. Like they cursed the moon. And that's why I was like, what are y'all doing over here? That's why coronavirus happened? Like, are y'all kidding me? Like, no, I'm just kidding. But they really did. And again, it's scary. Spirituality, energy, no matter if you know what you're doing, if you don't, intention is everything. And the universe reads intention as energy. Energy is what we all thrive on. You know what I mean? You have to be very, very careful.
Girl, people are crazy out here. Like, that's another thing. This world is so crazy. I was walking to Trader Joe's and I called you because I saw this crazy white building and it just looked creepy as hell. And it turned out to be an actual cult, the Saint Germain Foundation. And so what just blew my mind is that it is just plop in the middle of the neighborhood. Yeah. And 1 million followers of this crazy cult are just walking around. So like people have all these crazy religions and stuff that may be messing up your energy. I saw an article where a lady pulled up the carpet of her apartment and there was a pinnacle on the floor.
Oh
Yes, and like
That's my worst fear.
you've got to make sure the space that you're entering is going to be cleansed.
No, that
for
is
you.
literally my biggest fear. Like I thought about this the other day, and this just might be me being a morbid Scorpio, but I was like, oh my God, I'll never be able to buy a home. There's been so much death on this land. I don't want to live anywhere. And I just like spiraled, and I was like, oh my God. But yeah, no, that's like my biggest fear. And when you told me that, I went through a rabbit hole again. We were on Reddit sending each other stuff back and forth. We were like, oh my God, they have their higher self floating above them. What are you talking about? Your blood is gold. I mean, shit, that sounds like nice. Like, I don't know. I was so confused. But again, a disclaimer, I would just like to say, whatever you believe in, as long as you aren't hurting anybody,
Absolutely.
like, you know what I mean? As long if you see good changes in your life, do you, please.
I mean, AA is a cult. It is. We joke about it all the time. You know, we say the same shit. We do the same shit. We drink the same Kool-Aid, which is the coffee. You know what I mean, girl? It's a culty. There are, religious backgrounds. I got you with that shit, too.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
We could talk a little bit like about how we were raised in our spirituality. I know Joe can go on for days about this one. But I'll get us started just a little bit about my history. I was raised Southern Baptist. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and I was born on a dead-end street in Prospect, Kentucky. And at the end of that dead-end street was a church. And that's where I started singing, and that's where my mom started singing. And I grew up, and I was baptized Southern Baptist. But when I hit the age of 13, my parents gave me the option of to continue to go to church or not, but also to check out other churches. And so I did some exploring, and I had that spiritual freedom at a young age, which I believe was such a blessing. I never had the you're going to hell because you're gay. I never had you have to do this. Now, mind you, at 7 or 8, yes, my ass had to be at Easter service.
Yeah, of
on
course,
Sunday.
of course.
We are black and we are from the South. That's what you do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But my parents they never forced religion upon me or that evilness of saying that I was going to hell. But along those lines, I just learned this about myself the other day. I have an easier connection with my higher power because when I was younger, reading that I'm going to hell because I'm gay, I knew that I couldn't believe any of that.
Yeah.
I knew that I had to develop a personal connection with my higher power between me and them, and that is it.
Yeah.
At a very young age. A lot of people, it takes a long time for them to develop that or even to
There's a
understand
lot of trauma in organized religion. So I commend your parents, especially as Black Southern people. That's really rare to find, too.
Absolutely. And, you know, my father still plays piano for a church.
Yeah.
My mom still sings for a church. My grandmother still plays the piano for a church. And, you know, we talk about spirituality all the time.
Yeah.
And every single thing is always still aligned, you know? But that's where I started, and that's where I am, even though I don't really see things exactly the way as my family does. But my family to me is me, my mom, my dad, and my grandma.
Yeah.
That's it.
I get that. That's very similar to how I perceive my family as well.
But you've got siblings and a whole different story over here. So what you got to tell me, girl?
I don't even know where to start, to be honest. Like, so there's me. I'm the oldest of 3. I have a younger sister who's the middle child, a baby brother who's the baby, and 2 parents. I mean, everybody does, but yes, a mother and a father. My mom is Black. She blackity black. She's like West African, a couple generations down, you know. And my dad is Nicaraguan and white. So I kind of grew up, they both grew up very, very, my mom really tried to keep me away from any form of Christianity. So I don't even know the proper terms. I just know it from horror movies. So I just like.
No, I love it because I only grew up around organized Christianity. Yeah. So it's very fascinating to me.
Yeah, they both did too. And I think, so my dad's mom, she's Nicaraguan, or was Nicaraguan, and she was a minister. I don't know what branch of Christianity she was in, but or was she Catholic? I don't know.
She throwing snakes on people, girl?
I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't remember. And I was actually baptized as a child out of respect for my grandma. Actually, me and my siblings, all of us were out of respect for my grandma. My parents both believe that there's never too many blessings, too much prayer, and too much light in your life. So they allowed it to happen. So yeah, both of my parents. I think my mom may have grown up Baptist. Please don't kill me, Grandma. I don't know, but she did grow up like Christian. And my mom went down this like neo soul, new age path. The older she got, once she left her family and stuff, and went away to college and everything. And my dad, he actually really bonded a lot with his native roots, his indigenous roots. So I kind of like the first like 10 years of my life, I grew up super like kind of like Pan-African, like Native American. I went to a lot of powwows as a kid. My dad did weird stuff like if we saw like roadkill, he would put it in a bag, salt it, go home, skin it, make bags out of it. So like my mom had like turtle foot bags.
I need some gloves, girl.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
Give me
knew
some
how to skin.
gloves.
I knew how to skin a deer. And
So
I was
you
like,
had that rabbit bikini, girl?
yeah. I couldn't even. My mama would not let my belly button be out. I wish. I wish. But yeah, so I grew up like really indigenous and native. And then we began to kind of take the more Pan-African route. This is why I always tell people I was probably in like 2 or 3 cults growing up by accident. I don't even think my mom knew it at the time, but we always left. We always left. Like we weren't
Did
there.
they make you sign a billion-year contract?
Ooh, you know what? I don't know whatever happened. I was just like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like, there was like a vegan cult my mom was in. It's so funny that everybody's vegan. I was never vegan, but my mom tried to do it once, I guess, and we were just there by default. And I just remember one day they
sounds
made
like a Netflix series.
no, seriously, I just remember one day they made tuna salad out of carrot puree, and she was like, "Oh, it's time to go," so she was like, "No," and then
It's time to go.
she was like, "It's time to go. I'm out of there." She was like, and
Well,
then
thank God for that.
and then she was always, her biggest thing was like, if like she always went based off of how people's children looked, you know what I mean? Because my mama always made sure we were shea buttered up, like greased up, like we just looked like we were slapped in some I don't know, bacon grease or something. But
Bust out that Crisco.
yeah, literally. And she always used to say like she didn't want to be a part of a community that had ashy kids. So yeah.
Well,
Yep. Because the parents would be all glowy and shiny, but those kids look like they just like grew and sprouted from the dust. So I don't know, but
well, I mean that just has me thinking about like how important it is to educate your children. Because I was wondering like how the hell are these cults still around?
yeah.
And it's because people are teaching their children this. And,
Yeah.
it's with anything, it could be with racism in the South. It could be
Yeah.
with abortion in women's bodies. Like, you are, unfortunately, I used to think that, they're just going to die off. Well, that's not the truth.
Yeah.
That generation may die off, but those seeds that they planted are continuing to grow.
I might offend some people with this statement, but I think cults exist because people like being told what to do. Like, I really, really, really believe that there are people who enjoy nonsensical,
Absolutely, girl.
just emotional
word?
violence.
What's that?
I just,
She said
I don't,
emotional violence.
like, it just feels like, the more outlandish, the more odd it is. And if you have a book and you got a couple paragraphs and you fucking clap your hands together and you smile at somebody and raise your hands, like, then you're Jesus, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it might be a little off topic, but that reminds me of even sexually. You know what I mean? People walking around your day to day, and then they go to dominatrix at night, not knocking any of that.
Nope.
But it's just like the weirder you can get,
Yeah.
the crazier you can get.
Yeah,
people gravitate towards that.
I think people like low-key really, really want to be controlled. Like it alleviates them of the pressure of having to do things for themselves or
girl.
think for themselves. So I think like it's easy to get caught up in a cult, honestly, because also like things like that, they always mix lie with truth. So it's really
Yes.
hard to like discern like
You
what's
know what, girl? I've told you before, like, I am so conscious not to get in a cult when I move to California. Like, I'm moving to California, and, once that sun goes down on the beach, girl, them drum circles pop out.
and you like being naked.
Shut up. But, like, you're totally right.
Yeah.
Half of it is true.
Yeah.
Like, most of the main principles make sense until they ask you to
prick some blood.
prick some blood and give up your booty and God knows what else, you know?
I mean, that doesn't sound bad.
Well, girl, see.
Oh God, my dad really wants to watch this, and I'm like, never mind, take it back.
That's so
My
that's so
parents
true.
got
though,
over that a
Joe.
long time
Yeah.
ago.
That's true about like I was just having that conversation with someone about how religion, if you're steeped in it in certain aspects, it allows you to absolves you from accountability
Oh, 100%.
because someone else is in control of your life. Not
Yeah.
you.
And I think that can just bring us to the point where, like, in most organized religions, like a lot of the leaders and a lot of the dedicated followers are total hypocrites because they feel like something will like totally absolve them and alleviate them of their wrongdoings, and they can just pray it away. That's not how
That
it
is
goes.
so baffling to me,
Yeah.
you know, because if I hurt you,
Mm-hmm.
I hurt you.
Exactly.
The higher power, the God in you, I don't really like to use the God word. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But I know it affects other people.
Yeah.
You know, if I hurt you, I need to do something right. I need to do the best of my ability to make up for
At
that.
least an apology.
This whole, I was not raised Catholic, and a lot of the Catholic rituals I'm not familiar with. So the fact of hearing, just say a couple Hail Marys and do this, and I'm like, who gave you wait a minute, this makes no sense, because if we go back, I developed my connection with my higher power, and I know that I'm living right. But I have a YouTube channel called This Is Me, Christoph Key, Laughing Through Life, Single, Gay, and Sober.
Click the like button and subscribe, please.
Oh gosh, like and subscribe for more videos.
Hit
But,
that bell.
ding ding. You know, I learned that I developed my connection with my higher power. But like I say in my channel, is that humans make mistakes. The books that humans write contain mistakes. So who the hell are you to tell me what I'm gonna do to make up for a sin, or what I'm gonna do, what I need to do in my life?
Yeah.
In order to, I also don't believe in hell.
I was gonna ask that earlier. Actually, what are our stances on heaven and hell?
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, that's a
Ooh, this
spicy
perked up a little
topic.
bit.
Is that a whole different? Is that a different segment?
So listen, I love this because I can literally take certain things and create like multiple videos.
Awesome.
Out of what you guys are, because we're coming up on like an hour.
Yeah,
And so this
I
is-
can feel it.
No, but this is great. Like go into this, and this can be like our last thing. But you have like 2 weeks. Like it's at least 2 episodes here.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Did you want us to change clothes at some point? Or are we good?
We can
Okay.
roll with this right now.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
Don't even worry about it. I
All
don't
right.
even think, because the content is so good, people
Cool.
are not gonna care.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a little sippy sip of water as you described. Let's prepare for this because honestly,
That's a really good question. though.
yeah, because that's what I was gonna ask earlier when we were talking about when you were talking about Christianity and how your parents let you explore. That actually popped into my head. So bingo.
Yeah,
ahead,
I just don't want y'all to stop and change because this is really good. It's a good flow.
Okay.
It's a good flow. Great flow, actually. Like I would be interested in watching this.
Okay.
That's it.
Yay.
All right, whenever you're ready.
All right.
get back
So
into
our
Heaven and hell. Do
Heaven
we
and-
believe?
do we believe in heaven and hell? or
Right.
What that means to us?
Oh,
You want me to
Lord.
get started, girl?
Yes, because I am all over the place on this. Let me tell you.
Well, you know, I mean, my thoughts on it are always evolving and growing. And
Same.
within the past 2 years, I have come to the conclusion that I do not believe in hell. I do not believe that there is a devil or a burning place that I'm going to go when my body dies. I believe that hell is right here on earth. You can create your own hell. And I did. I created my own hell. And my alcoholism. I lived a life that to the normal eye was fabulous. That was awesome. But I was hurting so bad on the inside.
Yeah.
And I lived in a personal hell. You know, we see mental illness, we see homelessness. I pray for those people that they find their way out of the darkness. To me, unfortunately, that is a hell. As far as a heaven, I do believe that when our soul goes to a different level of consciousness, our planet hasn't been around that long. You know, our bodies and our way of being is not that old. We brand new compared to a lot of things out
Yeah.
there, in my personal opinion. And so I believe that heaven is just a different level of consciousness, and it's about how we work at that different level of consciousness here on earth. So if we do the right thing and we live the right way, then when our soul elevates to a different level, I believe, and that could be heaven. The upper, the higher, and the higher we go. I don't know what's up there, but that's my thoughts on there is no hell. Hell's here if you choose to live in it, and heaven to me is just elevating our spirits to a different level of consciousness.
Allegedly. No. I actually think that was beautifully said. I really agree with that a lot. This is where I start to spiral. So I do believe in other dimensions. I believe that there are different spaces. That it's just infinite, right? So what I believe is there could possibly be a burning place with the devil. I definitely believe there is negative space, like truly evil space. Actually, not negative, evil space. I do believe that there could be a space where souls go and we just live a lavish paradise, which would be considered heaven. Honestly, I think those places can exist, and I just don't necessarily think our idea of heaven and hell, like what our souls do, like is that specific and that like linear. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like I don't believe it's that linear. We could be existing in multiple places at once. I do believe energy. I do believe in ghosts, and this is like also where I start to spiral because I do believe in ghosts. I do believe in because I be seeing stuff. Like honestly, since I was a kid, like I really do like see spirits. I used to talk to my dead uncle when I was a kid. Like you know what I mean? I was that creepy kid that'd be like, "Oh, Papa's calling," and then 30 seconds later, the phone's ringing. Like,
Gotta
so,
go.
yeah, literally.
What is that, Eddie Murphy? Amityville Horror?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this house. Get out. Too bad we can't stay, baby.
Oh man. It's again, like you said earlier, like I'm constantly like evolving what I think of it. I just don't think things are as linear as our brains are processing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I just think a lot of things are all happening at once. Do I believe that there's truly an evil realm? Yes. Do I truly believe that
agree.
there's,
Like when you said that you believe in evil spaces.
Yeah.
I 100% believe in that.
Yeah.
And I have also seen some very evil forces.
Yeah.
That people can say whatever they want to say.
Demons.
I know what I saw.
Demons.
Okay.
Demons.
Exactly. But let me ask you this, because I've been toying with these thoughts. People that don't believe in anything.
Ooh.
I was hooking up with this guy for a while, off and on, and a really nice guy. Very chill, very normal, whatever. And then one day, girl, I think you came to pick me up from his house.
I think I did.
I think you did. Because I think we talked about it. We're sitting on the porch waiting for you to come pick me up. And somehow that he's an atheist popped up. And it really sparked me. I was like, huh. So what do you think happens? Which is kind of a classic question.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I just think that my soul and spirit goes into this tree. And then da-da-da. And it just filled me with this sadness that I wasn't expecting, to see this handsome, successful, kind person say that he thinks that all that he is will just evaporate into this tree or to this
like
whatever.
this is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
And that made me realize that even hooking up with someone sexually, I prefer that you be spiritually connected.
Yeah.
That emptiness and that emptiness made him unattractive to me.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny too? This might be slightly off topic, but a lot of I understand how people can get to that point. Like I really, really do. A lot of people are just literally hardwired to be like tangible beings. Like I see what I see, and this is what it is. I totally understand that. I empathize with it. Do I understand it? No. One of my personal mottos in life is like, what's life without a little bit of fantasy? You know what I mean? Because I was always a fantasy writer.
Sweet fantasy, baby.
sweet
when I
fantasy.
close my eyes, you come and you take me.
Wrong podcast. Wrong show.
Mariah.
Yeah, seriously. I always tell people like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, but I do see how people could, like, there are just some people hardwired that way. Am I sad for them?
Could you be with somebody like that?
You know what? I just had this conversation with my mom. I
Is that a
don't
deal breaker?
think. I will say it's only a deal breaker because I want children.
See?
Yeah,
That's a
if
whole
I
new
didn't,
level.
yeah,
'Cause,
if
honey,
if
don't
I
want no
didn't want
kids.
children, I don't think that would be a deal breaker if he respected what I believe,
Mm-hmm.
like my belief system. So like, I think eventually it might bother me, you know. But overall, I, it's hard to say because I really do like see how it can be that way for some people. I'm not
And they
necessarily
can check all those other boxes. I
Mhm.
remember I dated that one guy.
but it's also like because a lot of like your spiritual belief and like what you believe in, like a higher power, universe, whatever it is, Allah, like any like whatever you believe in, it kind of also in a way checks you're constantly checking your moral compass. So it's like if you don't believe in anything, what are you? Not morals, because that sounds like organized.
It's like, how are you
religion.
acting?
Yeah.
Like,
It's hard to explain.
I was dating that guy who he checked all the boxes, and then I asked him if he believed in a higher power, and he said, not really. And then, as you know, that didn't work out. But I did notice a bit in his character that, I mean, he wasn't rude,
Yeah.
but there was just something a little off or something that I didn't like.
Nonchalant,
Yeah.
like this is it, like
Yeah.
like I don't know, like, because I don't judge anybody that like, and I know you don't either, like, and I really don't judge anybody. I'm actually very curious of like maybe like sitting down and dissecting a mind of that person. Like I know a lot of people
How do you
have
sleep at night?
I know a lot of people have like really negative like allergic reactions to God and spirituality and the universe and nature and all things good. No, I'm just kidding. But no, people have like a really negative reaction to it sometimes because of trauma. But also I've met people.
Most of the time it's from trauma.
Yeah, and that's part of it. But like I've actually met people who are just like, I never really got it. And like, you know what I mean? Like, and I would really like to actually sit down with an atheist. What is the other thing where you don't
Agnostic.
Yeah, agnostic. So agnostic, I just like recently, because I always see it like on dating apps that, like, you're like, oh,
Yes.
what's your religion? Agnostic. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Well, what we say in AA is that if you have a willingness and
Yeah.
an openness,
Yeah.
then that higher power will fill it in. You've just got to remain open. And, you know, I have dated both. I've dated people that would talk down upon religion, and that's a real quick deal breaker.
Yeah.
But also that gray area space where, like, I hear you, I don't agree with you, what's for dinner? Like, and both I don't like, you know?
Yeah.
But at the
that's a
same
good-
time,
that's a
girl,
good
I don't
point.
think I could be with someone like meditating 26 hours a day.
Oh, that shit pisses me off.
Smelling like, I mean, I love Nop Champa, but like, girl.
No, that shit pisses me
Like,
off. I'm not gonna
no.
lie. Do your thing, but like, please, God, I like to turn up, and I'm a little ratchet, so like, I need a happy medium.
yes.
Yeah, that look, I don't do extremes well. I like to stay balanced, and I like my people to be balanced, and that is just what it is. And so, to answer your question, maybe I couldn't be with an atheist. Probably not. And honestly, it probably would never work. I'm just probably just like trying to be open about it, but I don't think so.
And you want to be open.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because I wanted to be open to that. But at the end of the day, it's how I choose to live my life.
Yeah, 100%.
And, not unfortunately, I talk to my higher power all the time.
Yeah.
I had an extreme moment this morning that I was not prepared for. I made my breakfast, did my meeting, and I was just like overwhelmed with all of this gratitude. And I live in a condo where I can see the home that I used to live in just 2 years ago when I was in the depths of my alcoholism. And all of the blessings that I have in my life, all of the things that I'm able to tackle, I'm just so grateful for, because I see that old life across the street every day out the window, you know?
Yeah.
And it physically does something to me, you know? I
Yeah.
couldn't stop crying and goosebumps all over my body. And that's my higher power. And one of the first things I thought of is like, I feel bad for people who don't feel this.
Yeah.
Was I meditating trying to get this feeling? No.
Yeah.
It just hit me because this is my life now and I don't have to worry. You know, and I just wonder, people that don't believe anything, it seems very lonely, you know, and where do they release that energy?
Yeah. Good point. If I didn't have any.
So tell me.
I'm awake. I'm alive. Yeah.
I feel like y'all need to start wrapping up because you're going down so many paths. that I
We
want to
really are.
honestly, like, this is it's fabulous. So much content here, but
It's
it helped me also identify some really great topics for you to expand on.
yes, because I was thinking that as we were talking too. I was like, damn, like we could actually do this as a full segment. And
Yep.
and that's also like, even when we were talking, like when we talk on the phone, I'm like, boom, like this would be something, like we just been more conscious of that too.
Good,
I know we are
good.
ramblers. We would be doing this for hours, like we don't have jobs.
You have it's such great content, you guys. Seriously, like I know that I can put. I mean, out of an hour of content, we can probably put like 3 different episodes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
Well, I don't know how we want to wrap it up because
Um,
you were kind of ending about like dating people who are not spiritual.
I think we could build off of that. Well, we kind of did go. We kind of
Because I think that could be a real good segment.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
yeah.
too.
The whole dating
Yeah.
people and energy between people
I
that you're
agree.
dating and exchange of energy. Even
I mean, because, you know, you even meet people online and you don't know that energy. Like, you see their picture, you read their bio, you think you know who they are.
Yep. And then boom.
and then boom.
I
And then
mean,
they kill you on the Craigslist.
I know. Well, not me. Not me. I'm here. But no, I agree with you. I guess. How do you want to wrap this up? We
Thanks.
didn't
Or
really-
you can look at that camera and say, you know, thanks for joining us for our first, or thanks for just say thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking more about, you know, I guess we can say, talk about the rituals that we do, the lives that we're living, how spirituality plays into it.
Dating,
So
sex.
make sure to subscribe and tune in every week for
Okay.
new episodes. Does that sound good? Or
Yup,
does that sound
yup.
like-
No, that's
I'm
good.
Like,
Okay.
I do the quote thing on mine, and then I do a moment of gratitude. Is there something kind of like that we can do? Like,
Ooh. I do be watching your videos. You don't
yeah,
even know.
yeah.
I'll be watching your video. I get a little notification because I'm
A little, yeah, a little
Yeah.
bell.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, Crystal,
A little, yeah, a little notey, yeah.
What about a definition? What if
What
we
about
did
you
Oh,
guys are
that'd
going
be
to
cute.
do affirmations too.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Should we just like write out like we just like ping pong back and forth, like I am this, you are that, or we are, like instead of like directing it as a I am, should we do a we are?
What
or
about
you
an
are?
intention?
Mm.
Like an intention for this, like we hope that you go forth with this type of
Yeah,
energy.
that's kind of cool to pass.
Focus.
Yeah.
Like when we can
Yeah.
be like on focus. I hope that you are able to focus this week.
Yeah.
Maybe self care as like maybe kind of like a little homework thing.
What would be really good? We just talked about so many things.
Guru gifts.
Guru gifts. That's cute.
That is so cute.
That is
I
so
love that.
cute. I really love that. Bloop. Love
So
that.
it's like you're saying something very that people can take and hold on to and.
So
Yeah, I
we'll
think
close
this
up
week,
with a guru gift.
I think this week's guru gift. I hope
Of
we.
us.
Yeah, literally though.
We're the guru gift this week. So we
Yeah,
hope
like,
that you
I- this-
These are getting to know you guys. All of
So I guess we could say something like, this being our first episode, we really hope our guru gift of the week is just leaving you with some clarity and some
understanding of
Maybe
who we
Yeah.
are.
create 3 because I might break these up into
Okay.
3 different episodes.
Okay.
So do 3 different. Do one for like the first episode, then do one for just do 2 more if you can.
All right,
Okay.
and I'll do. Okay, I'll be like.
This
I'll take it.
week, I hope that you enjoyed us, and I hope that we leave you with a little extra, leaving you with thoughtfulness for yourself and for your life and for others.
Each week we are going to do something called the Guru Gift, where we give you a gift that you take with you for the week or whatever you need it.
Yeah.
And I think our Guru Gift this week is us.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Hi again.
We are putting ourselves out there for you.
Yeah.
Talking realness from the heart, and we hope that you appreciate it.
Yeah, and we hope that we inspired you to be authentically
Make
you.
sure to like and subscribe. Definitely follow us on all those platforms. We got a lot of shit to talk about.
Yeah, we do. And we are grateful to be here with you guys. And whoever's listening, thank you for allowing us to take up this little bitty time of your day. So, yeah, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
Be well.
That was good.
Okay.
All right, do one more.
Okay, what's our next guru gift?
Our Guru Gift of self-care, awareness.
Discernment, awareness.
I love the discernment thing because you talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
So that could be a good second one that.
Oh my God, we didn't even get.
Practice the gift of discernment.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if you want to say it like that, but I think that's a really good gift to give people. Just a reminder of discernment.
Alrighty, so
Our guru gift of this week.
the Guru Gift of the week, girl.
Week.
Discernment.
Yeah, discernment. We would love to leave you guys with the gift of discernment. We know it can be hard, but try and follow your inner self. Follow your gut. You know.
If you got to think about it multiple times, it's probably
Don't
not
do
for
it.
you.
No, just kidding. But be discerning about that message.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate your time. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.
Yeah. We will see you guys next week, and like and subscribe.
All right.
Bye.
Adios.
All right. Was that 2 or 3?
I think it was 2.
2. All right. What's one more?
Guru gift.
Let's do.
What's another thing? Self-love, because we kind of touched on love a little bit. Or do you want to do that for a different episode? Because you say you want to go in a relationship hole a little bit more.
Yeah. What about? I'm trying to think of the things that you talked about.
I know, right?
What about
Routine.
energy and well, I guess that's kind of about a discernment too.
Routine.
I like the routine.
Okay.
That's good.
You
All
take
right.
the lead on that one.
Alrighty, it's that time for our Guru Gift of the Week.
Week.
We're gonna wrap things up with. I fucking forgot it. What is it?
Routine.
Okay. So our Guru Gift of the Week this
Yeah.
week is going to be routine.
Yeah. Do your thing, shawty, and make sure you stick to it. You know what I mean?
Do those things that are gonna help you get through the rest of your week.
Yeah.
I'm that armor guy. So whatever you need to do to put on that armor to be the best you of that week, find that routine, stick with it, because honestly, you're gonna feel better when you do.
And it's okay to change it a little bit too.
Okay.
Right? Do whatever works. If we gave you some tips, cool.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate your time. Remember to like and subscribe and follow us on all platforms.
And we'll see you again next week.
All
Bye.
right. Peace.
You guys are so great.
Thanks.